You've made me feel so alive that I've forgotten who I was. And now I'm wondering if that version of me even matters. There's a part of me that feels like I'm being swallowed whole by this love, but another part wonders if I'm finally becoming who I'm meant to be. It's as if your love has cracked me open, and now I'm trying to put the pieces back together in a way that makes sense. I've lost so much of myself to you, but I'm starting to think that's not such a bad thing after all. In the mess of all my feelings, I find myself tangled up in you, not sure if I'm losing myself or becoming something new. You've turned my world upside down, and I don't know if I'm still standing or if I've fallen into a version of me I never knew existed. Every moment with you makes me question who I am and who I'm becoming, but I can't bring myself to care. I feel like I'm losing my grip on reality, but somehow, with you, it feels like the most natural thing in the world. In the chaos of this love, I've become a stranger to myself, but I can't seem to let go of the beauty of it all. You've touched parts of me that I didn't know existed, and now I'm lost in this version of myself that feels both strange and familiar. I thought I knew who I was before you came along, but now I'm not sure if I've ever truly known myself at all. Every time I think I have myself figured out, you throw me into a new world of emotions that make me question everything. I'm not sure who I am anymore, but somehow I'm okay with that, as long as you're here with me. You've shaken me to my core, and now I'm not sure if I'm still me or if I've become someone new in the process. I've lost myself in this love, but it's a loss I'm willing to embrace, even if I never find my way back. I feel like I'm in a constant state of becoming, but I'm not sure if it's the person I used to be or the person I've yet to discover. You've made me feel things I can't understand, but somehow I'm learning to accept that I don't need to understand everything. In this whirlwind of emotion, I'm just trying to hold on to something real, but I'm starting to wonder if that something is you or me or both. You've made me question everything, but at the same time, I feel like I'm finally discovering a truth I've been hiding from all along. I've become someone unrecognizable, not because I've changed, but because you've made me see a side of myself I didn't know was there. In the chaos you've created, I've found a piece of myself that I never thought existed, and now I can't look away. You've left me speechless, questioning the person I thought I knew, and wondering if I'm finally becoming who I've always been meant to be. Every emotion you stir in me pulls me further away from the person I was before, and I'm not sure if I should mourn or celebrate it. The deeper I fall for you, the more I feel like I'm losing the old version of me. But maybe that's exactly what I needed all along. You make me feel so alive, yet so out of control. And in that beautiful chaos, I found a side of me I never thought would emerge. It's like I'm walking on a fine line between losing myself and discovering parts of me that I never knew were missing. I feel like I'm constantly reinventing myself in this whirlwind of feelings you've brought into my life. With every passing day, I feel more like a stranger to myself, and yet I can't help but embrace the person I'm becoming with you. You've opened doors within me that I didn't even know were there, and now I'm stepping into a version of myself that feels foreign but exhilarating. I've been broken, but this love with you is rebuilding me in ways I never expected, making me question everything I knew about myself. You've pushed me so far that I don't even recognize the person I see in the mirror. But somehow, it feels like the most freeing thing I've ever experienced. In the madness you've stirred, I've found clarity, but it's a clarity that leaves me wondering who I really am in all of this. Every time I think I'm starting to understand myself again, you make me feel something new, pulling me deeper into the mystery of who I am becoming. You make me feel like I'm floating between who I was and who I'm destined to be, and I can't seem to decide if I want to return or keep going forward. In this whirlwind of feelings, I've become someone I barely recognize, but I'm starting to believe that's exactly who I'm meant to be. I've let go of so much of myself for you, and yet, in doing so, I feel like I'm finally finding the person I was always meant to be. You've turned my world upside down, and in the process, you've made me realize that maybe I was never really myself until now. Every time I feel myself slipping, I wonder if I'm just becoming someone better, someone who finally knows what it means to be alive. In this whirlwind of emotions, I've become someone I never imagined, lost in the chaos you've stirred within me. You've unlocked parts of me that I never knew existed, and now I'm not sure if I'm still me or someone new. With every glance and every touch, I feel like I'm slipping further away from the person I used to be. I never thought a love like this could change me so completely, yet here I am, a stranger in my own skin. You have a way of making me feel both alive and out of control at the same time. It's like I'm watching myself from the outside, wondering where I've gone and who you've turned me into. Every moment with you makes me question everything I thought I knew about myself. You've turned my world upside down, and in doing so, you've made me forget who I was before you came into my life. I'm tangled in my own thoughts, trying to figure out if I'm just in love or completely losing myself. I'm starting to wonder if I ever truly knew myself, or if you've just revealed a version of me I never knew existed. In your presence, I forget everything about myself, only to realize I'm a version of me I'm not sure I recognize. Every time we speak, I feel like I'm peeling away layers of myself, wondering who I'll be once the last one falls away. You've made me so crazy that I've stopped trying to figure out who I am in this madness. It's as if you've rewritten the script of my life, and now I'm just trying to figure out my role. I thought I knew my limits, but you've stretched them so far, I'm not sure if I'm still the person I once was. You make me feel like I'm caught between being myself and becoming someone I didn't even know I wanted to be. Every time I try to grasp onto who I am, you pull me in a new direction, leaving me to wonder if I'll ever be the same again. Your love has been so intoxicating that I've lost sight of myself in the haze of it all. The more I fall for you, the more I lose track of the person I was before all of this started. I find myself drowning in emotions I can't understand, and I wonder if I'll ever find my way back to the person I was. You have a way of making me feel so deeply that I can't even recognize myself in the reflection of my own heart. Sometimes I wish I could step outside myself to see the person I've become, but you've tangled me up too much to find a way out. I never expected someone to make me lose myself so completely, yet here I am, trying to hold on to the fragments of who I used to be. It feels like I'm losing my mind, but in a way that makes me feel more alive than I've ever felt before. Every thought I have of you pulls me further into a version of myself I didn't know existed, and I don't know how to stop it. You've brought out parts of me that even I didn't know were there, and now I'm both frightened and fascinated by the change. It's like you've touched something deep inside me, and now I'm struggling to hold on to the pieces that made me whole. I never knew how powerful love could be until you came along and completely unraveled everything I thought I knew. With you, I feel like I've become someone new, but I can't quite decide if I'm stronger or more fragile. The more I think about you, the less I recognize the person I am becoming in this whirlwind of emotions. You've made me question my sanity, but in the best way possible, because I've never felt more alive. I'm torn between the person I used to be and the person you're making me become, and I don't know which one to hold on to. You've made me lose control, but for the first time in my life, I feel like it's okay to let go. I've become someone I don't even recognize, and yet, in your arms, I feel like I'm finally finding myself. You've made me feel things I never thought possible, And now, I'm not sure if I'm the same person I was before you came into my life. The more you consume my thoughts, the less I can hold on to who I am and who I was before this whirlwind began. I'm falling apart piece by piece, but with every broken fragment, I feel like I'm being reshaped into something new. In the chaos of emotions you've stirred, I find myself lost, yet strangely okay with not knowing who I am anymore. You've pulled me into a whirlwind of emotions, and now I'm just trying to figure out which version of me is real. With you, everything feels amplified, and I'm not sure if I'm losing myself or finally discovering the real me. I can't tell if I'm on the edge of losing myself or if I'm finally breaking free to become the person I've always been meant to be. You've made me feel so alive that I've forgotten who I was, and now I'm wondering if that version of me even matters. There's a part of me that feels like I'm being swallowed whole by this love, but another part wonders if I'm finally becoming who I'm meant to be.